Anyway, here we have the limbic system, which is the where the impulses coming in get distributed to the whole nervous system. I just want you to know that I didn't make up these words. Here we have something called the amygdala. Where is the amygdala? Which is the emotional center. Here we have something called the thalamus, which is a relay center. And here we have the prefrontal cortex. And I just want you to know that I didn't make these words up. Now we're ready to go to the next slide. This is what you call keeping it simple, huh? This is keeping it simple. It's what we talked about this morning. We found that calibration level less than 200 has, oh, I need my pointer. Calibration level 200, below 200, has a different physiology than above 200. We found that below 200, you don't even have an etheric brain yet. 200 and over energizes the production and creation of an etheric brain. Now, as we said this morning, below 200 in the animal brain, the sensory input is very fast to the relay station, and then it goes very fast. So this is emotions, fear and hatred, the Selye's stress response, Cannon's fight or flight. The emotional center in the brain. So the left brain, below 200, animal cortex, animal brain, then the input goes unmodified, fast as all get out, to the emotional center, straight to the amygdala. At the same time, the same stimuli goes from the thalamus to the cortex and then down to the amygdala. But this is fast. And by the time the one goes through your cerebral cortex and you have a chance to think about it, it's already happened in the emotions. Therefore, it's necessary to forgive 85% of the people on the planet because they react emotionally and then their common sense comes around later. Okay, so here, you got a fast track. You see the deer. The mind says, get me the gun. Then it thinks, but I'm spiritual, I should be loving the deer, but you've already, or you curse somebody, you hate them. Now your slow cortex gets around reminding you that you're spiritual. What does that do? That creates guilt. Guilt. So you haven't really pushing people into spiritual work then means you're going to subject them to a lot of guilt because they're never going to be able to live up to the expectation. Why? Because the expectation doesn't have a chance until this has come up already. Now, this whole phenomena is then stored in your hippocampus. I love that word, hippocampus. Right south of Columbus, isn't it? That's the campus where the hippos all go. The hippocampus. And the hippocampus, then. What is the hippocampus storing? It's storing this phenomena here. So the memory of it now reawakens the emotion. I should have an arrow going from here to here. The memory now of it reawakens that you hate that guy. You hate him because your memory of him is this. That's what gets programmed into your hippocampus, is that you hate him. Hatred goes on generation after generation, century after century, about the same issue. Stuck in people's hippocampus. Stuck in your hippocampus. That's why the direct pathway of self-realization bypasses all of that, because you're not referencing that which happened centuries ago. You're not stuck in history, ethnicism, the geography, and the politics of the times, which gets incorporated in ecclesiastic literature as scripture. There's nothing scriptural about it. Who walked down the sidewalk and did what 2,000 years ago, some other part of the planet, is irrelevant. Relevant to what? Irrelevant to your enlightenment. All right, what happens then above 200? Above 200, we see now, first of all, for the first time, an etheric brain, not just a physical brain. The input is very instantly to the etheric brain. Why? Because the etheric brain is connected to the field. The physical brain is connected to the input, the senses. The etheric brain is already connecting with the field, and as you get more spiritually evolved, you become the field rather than the content of the field. So the etheric brain is now beginning to reflect the field. Therefore, the input is fast to the etheric brain and to the amygdala, and the hippocampus stores it as a beautiful deer that you loved instead of getting a gun and killing it. Huh? In summary, then, we can say, spiritual endeavor and commitment literally changes the brain, its function, its physiology. It creates an etheric brain. The etheric is much closer to the infinite spiritual.